Hello guys, I'll tell you the amazing story of one Microsoft software engineer who recently discovered a major vulnerability rated from the Common Vulnerability Score system with a score of 10, critical. I will use this story as a trampoline to highlight the importance of Sigma rules and the time between disclosure and patch release. Once upon a time, a Microsoft software engineer named Andreas was conducting routine maintenance on systems that he managed. Andreas, a methodical man with an exceptional eye for detail, stumbled upon something extraordinary, something that should not have been there. A backdoor hidden in XZ-utils. The discovery of such a vulnerability by Andreas sparked extensive discussions about the reliability and security of open source software maintained by unpaid volunteers. These are critical components of our cyber infrastructure, which often are taken for granted. Now, to understand the magnitude of this finding, imagine security systems as a bunker and the backdoor in XZ-utils as a flimsy market bot padlock. Companies invest millions annually in securing their digital fortresses, yet relying on volunteer-maintained open source software introduces a tangible risk. This backdoor had the potential to impact millions of servers worldwide. Many Fortune 500 companies rely on servers running the Linux distributions affected by this vulnerability. The malicious code targets directly SSH connections which engineers use to interact with systems. Andreas noticed something strange during an SSH login. The authentication process was slightly delayed. Rather than a few seconds difference, it was just a matter of milliseconds, from 0.3 seconds in the older uncompromised versions of XZ-utils to 0.8 seconds in the problematic version 5.60 and 5.6.1. Initially he was dismissing this, but he noticed that something seemed to be using too many resources in SSH. This, of course, provoked his interest, so he started looking further and further to discover eventually that somebody had injected some code into that process. This code would allow somebody else to log in to the system. The tale of Andreas and CVE-2024-1394 is like a baker in a small town bakery who smells freshly baked bread and correctly suspects something amiss in the global e-supply. In the realm of cybersecurity, a software engineer unintentionally discovering a backdoor, obviously planted by a state or state-sponsored group, is a story of diligence, a certain dose of luck, and high stakes. Now, if you haven't subscribed, now is the time. Now, why did I tell you this story? I told you this story because bad things will happen, and this for sure. It's our collective job to respond efficiently to those arising threats. With this video, I want to highlight the importance of the vulnerability exploitation window. This is the time between the disclosure of the CVE and the release of a Sigma rule. Now, in the 3094 CVE, we see that the disclosure happened on 29th of March, and the actual release of a Sigma rule that can be exported and imported into a CM solution happened on 1st of April. This means that there were 48 plus hours of vulnerability exploitation window. Now, if we go under SOC Prime, this is their website, we can search for our CVE 2024-30, yeah, here it is. So as you can see, here is the Sigma row, and we can read it. It says something like suspicious SSH child process creation. Then we can obtain more details here on the right side from the description section. We can check the timeline, the action loop, and we can obtain additional details if it's necessary. Here we can see the CVE, when it was released, the vulnerability, short description. And then if we check the media, we can see various media sites that have published the discovery, threat intelligence platforms as well. We see the Alien Vault, Malware Bazaar. Also here we can see more details about this CVE. We can try to search and again obtain additional information. Malware Bazaar. And again here we can get a hash value. Even if you want, you can open another threat intelligence platform, copy the hash. Let's copy it and let's try to open VirusTotal, for example. Let's check also under VirusTotal. And yeah. Okay. Yes. Now let's transform this Sigma row into an ArcSight ESM Ceph row. Okay, we hit basically the translate button, and then what we can do, we can simply just copy the translated Sigma row. Here you can see it says pipe, field, file string, etc. We can get rid of the pipeline operator and just copy this bit. Now if I open the ArcSight ESM console, I can go directly under rules, can create a new standard row. Okay, I will specify a name. I will call it suspicious SSH child process. Okay, and yeah, now we can go under conditions. Yeah, 2024 3094. Right click the conditions tab and then select new plain text condition. Instead of using these, we go here. Okay, let's say yes. And now we can simply just paste the row that we've copied. From the aggregation tab, we can specify the number of events that we are going to be looking for. I'll leave it to just one. And then from the actions tab, we can define, for example, the name of the correlation event and as well the priority of the same. Now I'm going to start a smart connector, which will forward one event which will trigger this rule. I have already installed here my smart connector. So this is purely used just for testing. Now I'm just going to wait for the smart connector to start. Click on replay, make sure that the event is generated. And now is the time to test this rule. I'm going to deploy the rule under the real-time rules folder. And I will create one active channel which will look for events being generated by this rule. I will simply copy the filter and then I'll create one new active channel using the same conditions as the conditions that my rule use. Okay. Let's wait for the active channel to complete the query and to load. And yeah, here we have a clear proof of events which are coming from the smart connector. Now these are base events, but also if we want to see the actual correlation events, we can modify a little bit the filter. Plus also here I can see only root user events. But there might be others, yeah. Let's see, the device custom string 4 contains very useful information. And I'm just going to modify this filter now, and I'm going to say that I want to see only correlation events. So if my rule is firing, if it's triggering, I should be able to see a very high priority correlation event called, yes, suspicious SSH child process created. Yeah, let me just filter out. And here is the correlation event. If we want to see the base event, we can always go under detailed chain, and now I have the base event and as well the correlation event, which is part of the rule, which we have obtained from sock prime, and we have used the sigma rule created and uploaded in sock prime. Source process, also nice and useful information. Okay guys, so thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.